Let's be honest, the headlines rarely tell the whole story. Some of the most beloved actors of our time have been fighting private battles quietly, relentlessly, and often far away from the camera. A few have already left us. Others are holding the line with grit that deserves more respect than any box office stat. Today we're pulling back the curtain tastefully, truthfully, and with compassion on 25 names you know, and the life-altering journeys you probably don't. Stick around to the end. One recent update shocked the entire film community. Tim Curry, the voice that wouldn't quit. When Tim Curry suffered a major stroke in 2012, the stage icon of the Rocky Horror Picture Show could have faded out completely. He didn't. He rebuilt his career around the instrument no one could take from him, his voice. Animation, audiobooks, game roles, and rare fan appearances kept him connected to audiences, proof that tenacity can sound louder than applause. Fans who've met him at conventions describe the same playful wit, the same sparkle just delivered from a chair rather than a stage. That's not retreat, that's a reinvention. Coming up, one beloved leading man quietly beat the odds against a rare blood cancer. Sam Neill, a scientist on screen, a fighter off it. For decades we knew him as Dr. Alan Grant. In 2022, Sam Neill learned 3 heavy words: angioimmunoblastic T-cell lymphoma. Chemo slammed him. A trial therapy followed. And then remission. He's been candid about the uncertainty, the gratitude, and the good days, using interviews and his memoir to normalize hard conversations about illness and aging. In 2025, he's working, farming, laughing, and crucially living, not a headline, a life. But that wasn't the last health twist to hit a Top Gun legend. Val Kilmer, from thunderous voice to quiet goodbye. For years, Val Kilmer's throat cancer battle reshaped everything, including his speech. Technology helped him speak again in Top Gun Maverick, and the moment landed like a brick to the heart. In April 1st, 2025, the film world mourned after verified reports confirmed his passing from pneumonia-related complications. The tributes said it best. He didn't just play icons, he became one. Prevention Yahoo. Next, the pop culture prankster, whose sudden diagnosis stunned his generation. Dustin Diamond, gone far too fast. To millions, he'll always be Screech. In 2021, doctors found aggressive small cell carcinoma. 3 weeks later, he was gone. At age 44, the whiplash speed of it hurt, because growing up with someone on Saturday mornings makes loss feel personal. He changed the vibe of a room, even through a screen. Now to a warrior who turned a diagnosis into a platform. Selma Blair, MS. Unmasked. Selma Blair spent years facing exhaustion and balance issues without a name for what was happening. The answer finally arrived in 2018. Multiple sclerosis. Instead of hiding, she let the world see the cane, the tremor, the fight. She's since become a lightning rod for visibility, proof that honesty can be its own kind of power. Her message lands because it's simple. Hold on to the joy that remains. A beloved singer-actor also fought for decades and taught millions how to hope. Olivia Newton-John, Grace Under Pressure. The Grease star's first breast cancer battle began in the early 1990s, and it wouldn't be her last. She turned pain into purpose, funding research and comfort care that outlives her. When she passed in 2022, the tributes read like thank you notes. That smile, it was real. So was the strength behind it. From Sandy to a certain television dad, here's a master class in fighting a long war with dignity. Alan Alda, making Parkinson's visible. In 2018, he publicly shared his Parkinson's diagnosis, then kept working, podcasting, teaching, and advocating. Alda's trick isn't denial, it's momentum. He talks openly about symptom management and the way purpose steadies the hands. It's science and storytelling, as always. Meanwhile, the most everyman star alive learned to live by the numbers. Tom Hanks, the quiet discipline of type 2. He announced his type 2 diabetes in 2013, connecting it to years of weight swings for roles and family history. Since then, his regimen is boring in the best way: movement, consistent food, and restraint. The lesson: you don't have to be dramatic to be heroic. Sometimes you just have to be consistent. From one Hanks to another Fox, here's the benchmark for advocacy. Michael J. Fox, hope on purpose. He got his Parkinson's diagnosis at 29. He kept it private for years, then turned it into an engine. The Michael J. Fox Foundation is now the biggest Parkinson's research funder on the planet, pushing toward earlier detection and better treatments. He's taken his share of falls in recent years publicly and metaphorically, and still manages to turn pain into punchlines and funding into progress. Next is a story that hurts to say out loud, because we grew up with her. Shannon Doherty, honest to the end. From Beverly Hills 90210 to Charmed, she set the template for a certain kind of fire. When breast cancer returned and spread, she didn't sugarcoat it. She podcasted the fear, the logistics, the tiny mercies. In July 2024, she passed away at 53. The courage was in the candor. Two powerhouses next. One faced bipolar 2. The other relearned how to walk after a machine rolled over him. Catherine Zeta-Jones naming the storm. During her husband's own health crisis, Catherine Zeta-Jones stepped into treatment for bipolar 2 openly, without theatrics. That choice matters. It says, this is healthcare, not gossip. If you needed permission to get help, there it is. Jeremy Renner, a comeback measured in steps. A snowcat crushed him on New Year's Day 2023. Dozens of bones broken. The footage of his first steps felt like a miracle, and the follow-through has been even better. He's acting again, talking about rehab like a full-time job, and paying forward the lessons learned on the longest walk back. From superheroics to the slow grind of autoimmune pain. Kathleen Turner Payne with a public face. When rheumatoid arthritis hit in the 1990s, it nearly ended her career. She wrestled with pain, alcohol as a numbing crutch, and the cruel glare of tabloids tracking every change in her posture. Rehab, treatment, and time gave her a second act on stage, in classrooms, and in the honest way she talks about all of it. The next two names, one stepped away by choice. The other had the choice taken from him. Jack Nicholson, choosing quiet. After a half-century reign, Nicholson slowed down by the early 2010s. He didn't frame it as decline, just preference. If a script didn't spark, he stayed home, enjoyed the Lakers, and let Mystique do what Mystique does. Privacy isn't a symptom. Sometimes it's a boundary. Bruce Willis' love becomes the language. Aphasia took words first. Then the family shared the fuller diagnosis, frontotemporal dementia. Since 2023, updates have shown a home wrapped tight around him: music, ritual, steadiness. The lesson here is for the rest of us. Speak while you can. Hug while you can. Make the moments count. Next, two icons who worked through constant pain. One from nerve damage, one from an illness that rewires the immune system. Morgan Freeman, the work you don't see. A devastating car crash in 2008 left him with lasting nerve damage. He's spoken about the fibromyalgia that followed, pain that flares, hands that require a compression glove, and a determination to keep showing up. He rarely dramatizes it. That's exactly why it resonates. Christina Applegate, joy with a cane. Her multiple sclerosis diagnosis in 2021 reframed everything from red carpet calculus to energy budgeting. She gave one of the most emotional television appearances in 2024. owning the awkward, the scary, and the funny. That kind of frankness pulls shame out by the roots for millions who needed it. 2 more reminders that recovery is a road, not a finish line. Jamie Foxx, the slow reveal. A medical complication in 2023 pulled the curtain down with 0 warning. Months later, he re-emerged, thinner, grateful, and laser-focused on work and family. He hasn't shared every detail. He doesn't owe us that. What he has shared about faith, patience, and getting back up has been enough. Jane Fonda, remission and perspective. Non-Hodgkin lymphoma threatened to sideline an absolute force of nature. In December 2022, she announced the word everyone prays for, remission. She's used it to accelerate, not coast advocacy, craft, and candor. Age isn't the villain in her story, apathy is. From activism to SPF, a superhero who keeps reminding us to wear sunscreen. Hugh Jackman, the skin check megaphone. Basal cell carcinoma is the good skin cancer until you're on your 6th or 7th procedure. Hugh Jackman has turned every biopsy into a PSA and every bandage into a teachable moment. Sunscreen, checkups. Repeat, he's not invincible, he's responsible. There's a difference. Now, a dragon queen who battled something scarier than any CGI. Emilia Clarke, 2 brain bleeds before 30. Between seasons of Game of Thrones, she survived 2 aneurysms, the first in 2011, the second in 2013, and surgeries that could have ended everything. She founded a brain injury charity, talked openly about fatigue and fear, and reclaimed her work on her terms. The crown she wears now, hard won. The new daily, 3 farewells that still ache. Kirstie Alley, a sudden goodbye. She was warm, hilarious, and explosively charismatic. In 2022, her family shared that a recently discovered cancer had taken her quickly. The speed of it shocked fans who grew up with her Cheers-era glow. That's the thing about loss. You never feel ready. Carrie Fisher still saving us. Yes, Leia. But also, the truth-telling writer who punctured stigma around bipolar disorder and substance struggles with a joke sharp enough to draw blood. Her 2016 passing from cardiac complications still feels impossible. The work she did for mental health honesty, still saving lives. Liza Minnelli, told she might never walk again. Viral encephalitis in the early 2000s nearly erased her future. Doctors warned she might not perform or speak again. She clawed back both, returning to the stage with that unmistakable voice and that wink that says, "You didn't count me out, did you?" Resilience looks a lot like sequins under harsh lights. Closing out with 2 women who learned to live under a microscope and still chose to grow. Melanie Griffith rebuilding in public. Addiction recovery, a tabloid bullhorn, and the normal wear and tear of decades in the business. None of it stopped the working girl star from doing the hardest thing an artist can do: change. She scaled back, recalibrated, and kept advocating for self-acceptance as loudly as the culture judged. There's a quiet bravery in that. Then and now, what these 25 stories add up to. Not doom, not pity, perspective. The myth says actors are untouchable. The truth is better. They're people. They get scary diagnoses on boring Tuesdays. They make rehab schedules and school run schedules work in the same calendar. They cry on good days too. What's the real takeaway? Naming the problem helps. Zeta Jones calling bipolar 2 by its name. Fox building a foundation around Parkinson's. Boundaries are healthy. Nicholson stepping back without apology. Jamie Foxx keeping details private while sharing gratitude. Purpose heals. Alda teaching. Fonda advocating. Applegate and Blair turning MS into a megaphone. Love matters most. The Willis family taught the world how to show up when words are no longer enough. If any of these journeys hit home, leave a single word in the comments. Strength. If you've got someone you fight for, family, friend, yourself, drop a heart next to it. And if you want deeper dives into any one of these stories, tell me which name you want next. We'll go there with respect.